these situations, these emotions are like Amazon packages getting delivered to your house. They're in a box. You don't know what's in it. You just know it's a delivery. These packages are messages delivered from our body, from our spirit, that has a message for us about what our body, our mind, or our soul needs or desires. And for us to figure out what that is, we got to open it. We got to unpack it, and we got to allow ourselves to receive that message. Hey there. Okay, so I wanted to make this video. I've been kind of writing this topic out over and over again for the last week, and that is this. What does it really feel like to live life on the other side of burnout? Having broken through, having come through, and truly living life burnout free. Now, I've told you before, I've gone through many cycles of hard burnout. And each one I've learned something a little bit deeper about myself, which has absolutely helped when I have gotten to that point again for a completely different reason and help me kind of move through it a little bit quicker with a little bit more wisdom and helping me kind of bring the lessons I've learned from the last time with me forward. But I will tell you, there's always something new to learn when you get that low, when you get that rock bottom, when you get that burnt out. And, I can't take that away from you. You'll continue to learn that lesson the hard way. The more you repeat the patterns that are keeping you burned out, and the more that you learn about what could potentially be contributing or causing your burnout, you'll be able to better work through those things. But as we're learning the process together, I wanted to share some things that I used to think burnout recovery meant, which actually wasn't the case, and my experience with what burnout recovery, being free from burnout, has felt like within me, and what things have been able to be cultivated, things that I've been able to shift my perspective around that I didn't even know was a thing, was possible. If you've ever done any self-work, I'm just gonna draw something out really quick. Hold on, let me grab a piece of paper. One second. Okay, I'm back. If you've ever done any sort of self-work, you may have seen this. I'm gonna draw a pie for you. So I'm not gonna have the percentages 100% correct, but you would have seen something like this. What does this represent? We have things, what I know, that I know. I know the sky is green. I know the sky is blue. I know how to work out. I know how to drive a car. Then we have, so that is the things that I know in terms of my conscious and subconscious mind, my nervous system and my conscious mind. This is what comprises what I know that I know. Every single thing that I know is this little sliver. All right. The next largest sliver is what I know that I don't know. We should make that a different color. I love colored pens. I'm not gonna lie. Why would I lie about that? So what I know that I don't know. Come on, work with me here. There we go. There we go. So the things that I know that I don't know is a little bit bigger. Like I don't know how to fly a plane. I don't know how to cook beef Wellington. I don't know how to fix a bike. I'm just thinking of random things. Okay, so that's a little bit bigger. Stuff I know that I don't know. Now, what the heck is this humongous piece of the circle? this piece is coming. It's coming. Don't worry. I could have done this before, but I just thought of it on the fly. So you're getting me improv right now. The bigger piece is what I don't know that I don't know. My subconscious. The things that we don't know about ourselves, about why we do things that we do, why we react in ways that we react, is primarily the majority of our being, of our brain, of our nervous system, stuff we don't know that we don't know. So this is where we are tapping into in this program, where we are tapping into new perceptions, where we are allowing ourselves to zoom out and see things from a bigger picture instead of just being so emotionally drunk with it that we are not able to see clearly, that we can't even walk the line, you know, the line that the police officers make you walk when you get pulled over when they suspect that you've been drinking. We can't walk that line, okay? We are emotionally drunk, hungover, and we're trying to get clear, sober, emotionally sober. So that's what we're working on. So a lot of what we're learning is going to be you seeing it, tapping into it, connecting with it for the first time. And then the stuff that you now learn about yourself by feeling into it, by sensing it. Because remember, our nervous system speaks in senses. Our subconscious is a collection of memories and perceptions, and they are all stored in our body in all sorts of nooks and crannies. And then we can move that into the what I know about myself that I know. And then we can move into what do we do about it. So I'm going to walk you through a few things that I thought that I knew what burnout recovery would mean. And spoiler alert, it didn't. Okay, so you notice I have a theme color everywhere. Blue. Whatever this blue color is, if this is what it is. It's aqua. I don't know exactly what it's called, but I'm obsessed with it, clearly. All right, so the first thing that I wrote down is something that I used to think that burnout recovery meant was that I would never feel stressed or tired or low motivation ever again. And you might consciously think like, yeah, of course, burnout recovery doesn't mean like that I'll never feel stressed or I'll never feel tired or I'll never feel anxious ever again. But when it happens, because it does, and we judge ourselves for having a bad day, or we judge ourselves for feeling like we're ashamed that we took a few steps back, or that we have hit a few days of low motivation, or we have gone back to old stress coping mechanisms, and you feel bad that you feel badly, this is our subconscious belief coming to the forefront. That still a part of us doesn't think that it's acceptable to feel this way, or is ashamed that we feel this way, or is so, again, drunk with the overwhelming feeling, the overwhelming fear of those uncomfortable emotions that it forgets that this is a part of the process. That being burnout free doesn't mean that we never feel these ways again. It means that we have the tools, that we know ourselves to navigate through this before, it gets too far down the line and we spiral ourselves into another season of hardcore burnout. Another thing that I used to think burnout recovery meant was once you're through it, once you're through the burnout, you can forget about all the tools and the methods because you're fixed. Kind of like if you've ever had the mentality with weight loss and dieting, we can equate it to that. Kind of like you hit your weight loss goal, like you go on a diet, you're like, okay, I'm not happy with how I'm looking, not happy with my weight on the scale. Sorry, my cat's playing with a toy. And you go on a diet and you hit your weight loss goal, and then you go off the diet, right? And we can start to slowly slip back into old habits and old neuro pathways that are still in us. And we do this when we fall back into a comfort zone. When the stress isn't so bad, we're like, we start to feel a little bit better, right? And then we often many of us tend to go full force in on the program and what we need to do and helping ourselves get out of burnout when shit's hitting the fan, when it's a DEFCON 5. We use the practices when we're feeling our worst, when we're feeling really badly, when we're feeling really burnt out. But the truth is, this work is lifelong. This work and these tools are here for us to access forever, in times of war and in times of peace within ourselves. Because the truth of the matter is, in life, we're always going to meet new stressors. We're always going to encounter them on a physiological, an emotional, or a mental level. We're going to encounter new levels every time we break through. We're going to encounter new challenges in every season of life, new things that test us, a trigger that's going to ebb and flow us towards what we want in life. And so we are not going on a burnout recovery diet. We're going on this for life. And these tools, these practices, this way of viewing the world, viewing how you respond to stressors, which is really what this is about, how you respond to things, events, people, places, memories, situations. That is where we're always going to come back to. And that's where we're always going to have our ways of navigating so that we can be with ourselves through those uncomfortable moments, have a strong capacity to hold ourselves through it and ride the wave through. Another misconception that I personally had was that if something was stressful in your life, you would just cut it out, whether that's a person or a job or, I don't know, a conversation or whatever. Just gonna avoid it, just gonna cut it out, just gonna not even deal with it so I can live in complete peace. So I wanna show you what that means. This is a very simplistic but powerful way of breaking this down. So this is me. I'm the paper, all of me, Christine. And these are the things that I'm stressed about in my life. And these are the things that I'm not stressed about. This is peace. Okay. So I'm like, I'm just gonna cut out the stress because I want to live in peace and I don't want to deal with it. So I'm like, cool. Just gonna bye, peace out, stress, cut that person out of my life, quit that job. Don't address that internal conflicts. Just gonna cut it out. Now I'm living in peace. Look at me, except no, because life doesn't work that way. Delivers us some new stresses. They come up because that's life. So worked before, why wouldn't it work again? I'm just gonna cut it out. Bye. There I am, living in peace again, feeling good, except, I make new choices in my life and good stressors come in and not good stressors come in, and I don't have any tools to handle the stress. The only thing that seems to be working is to cut it out. So that's what I'm going to do again. And each time we avoid, cut out, numb, remove ourselves, move, quit, break up, get a divorce from that situation. And I'm obviously talking generalities. I'm not talking about abusive situations. Okay. Let's just say that but I think we all know that. Every time we choose to do that, we cut out the stress. We're making ourselves smaller and smaller and smaller, and our nervous system capacity is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until we have very little capacity within us, very little resilience, very little ability to tune in, to foundationally, get us through without needing major support. Okay? And that is not what we're doing in this program. Couple more things. So another thing I used to think of burnout recovery being was I was going to discover the one amazing tool, the amazing practice, the amazing method, that's going to work for me for the rest of my life. And I'll just be able to stay on this steady, even keel place forever. Again, consciously, we understand that that's not the case. But when it's happening in real life, subconsciously, we realize we do believe that. Why didn't that thing work? Why isn't it no longer working? Why isn't EFT no longer helping me? Why isn't breath work? Why isn't exercise? Why isn't, addressing myself through nutrition? Why isn't X, Y, and Z working for me like it used to? Again, we can equate this to using it as like a fad thing to just help us get through that one episode, that one situation. And the truth is, we're always changing. We as humans, as souls, as human beings on this planet are always going to be responding to the environment around us. That means that we are always changing and ebbing and flowing. So how you use these tools and these practices are going to continue to change because we're going to need them for different situations. Maybe you came to this program because initially it was stress at work that was your major cause of burnout. But then a year from now, you run into some stress with your family or some stress with your health or some stress financially. And you forget that these tools can be copied and pasted and utilized for different areas of our life where we're starting to experience stress and burnout. So the way that the tools might be the same: movement, EFT, breathwork, somatic visualization. There's so many other ones that we're going to be getting to inside this program. But what stressors and what triggers and what glimmers and what desires and what limiting beliefs that we use these tools for to help us break through will continue to change in different seasons and phases of our life. Last thing, that once you feel better, you can return to living life the way you did before. Pushing yourself through your days just to get through to that vacation, just to get through to retirement, just to get through to the weekend. Doing things you don't really want to do, but feeling bad about disappointing someone or about letting somebody down, or working harder without having your needs met. Prioritizing others' care before your own, not asking for help. All of these burnout mentalities and actions and behaviors that we do that are based on our subconscious blocks. And that we think that once we break through burnout, right, we got it, that's it, we can go back to normal. But we're not going back. We're only moving forward. We're on this road trip, right? We're on this road trip and we're not going back to normal. We're only moving forward, bringing all of our healed parts and being open to healing future parts with us. And again, this kind of goes back to what I said before, but it's so easy to go back to the familiar of what you know, even if it made you miserable. in our comfort zone or operating in fight or flight survival mode, especially, has this like seductive way of pulling us back in at times when we're still in the beginning stages of this work, which I would say is the first few months for sure to at least a year of consistently doing this work. The neuro pathways in our brain and our nervous system, think about them literally as pathways through, a forest or through a meadow that we go through again and we take again and again and again because they're easy, because they're familiar, because they're already walked on, because we don't have to forage ourselves through high grass. It's literally just a dirt path. Great, easy. I'm going to go down that. I'm going to go down that. It's comfortable. I know it. It's familiar, but I hate it. It's not making me happy. It's not making me miserable. So those pathways are so strong, and we've been doing them for so many decades, and we know that they can be overwritten. We know that we can choose a new pathway, but we're going to have to work a little bit harder at it to wear it down so that it becomes as easy to walk as that old neuro pathway. And this one we're going to choose because it serves us. It can be so tempting to go back to that old pathway when we've been living in safety mode and life is flowing and we're feeling good and we're feeling happy and we're feeling fulfilled. And then all of a sudden, a thought pops into your head, or you get triggered by something, or you notice something, and a thought pops into your head that says, what if it all comes crashing down tomorrow? What if something terrible happens and this all gets taken away from me? It can't be this good forever. Something bad is bound to happen. It's just statistics. It's been 5 days since I felt good. It's been 5 weeks that I've been feeling good. It's been 5 months since I'm feeling good. I don't deserve to feel this good for this long. And then we hype ourselves back into a stress state. And we go back to those old coping, controlling, burnout thoughts, energies, beliefs, and habits of overworking and controlling and people-pleasing and violating our boundaries and our values, acting in a misalignment of what we truly want. And we start to slowly creep back towards burnout tendencies. And okay, I do have one more. Sorry, I thought this was the last one. The last burnout, the last thing I expected burnout recovery to feel like, which is not true, is that I'll never have to face procrastination or low energy or anxiety or anger or limiting beliefs or old habits creeping up again or negative thinking or self-doubt or anything like that ever again. And again, I know we consciously know this isn't true, but our subconscious will need some reminding every day. These situations, these emotions are like Amazon packages getting delivered to your house. They're in a box. You don't know what's in it. You just know it's a delivery. These packages are messages delivered from our body, from our spirit, that has a message for us about what our body, our mind, or our soul needs or desires. And for us to figure out what that is, we got to open it. We got to unpack it, and we got to allow ourselves to receive that message. Instead of not opening the boxes and just letting them pile up in the room, filling the room, boxes. Imagine if you got huge Amazon boxes delivered to your house every day and you didn't open them and you just let them pile up all over. Your house would be cluttered. No wonder why you would feel, stuck, anxious, overwhelmed, resistant, not wanting to go anywhere. You know what I mean? When you're met with an emotion, the process that we're learning is here for you to use again and again. This work isn't about not feeling these ways ever again. So the feeling of shame or guilt when anxiety does pop up, or when you do procrastinate, or when you do have dips in your motivation, or you do start to get into a negative thinking spiral again. The process is here for you. It's about trusting and knowing how to feel what's coming up, trusting and knowing that you can open up the package, that you can acknowledge what you're experiencing on that deeper level, really get to the root of it, hear what your inner child, your past self really needs, move that energy, release that energy, and take intentional or inspired action into moving through it, moving past it, breaking through it. Having the capacity to hold both the uncomfortable emotion and trust we are resourced inside of ourselves. You know that term now, resourced. Having resources, having places we can tap into that help us feel grounded and safe and connected inside of ourselves. Or we can use resources in our immediate environment as well, but trust that we have the capacity to hold the uncomfortable emotion and trust that we are resourced to feel safe enough to guide ourselves through it and come out the other side supported, healed, and empowered. Yeah. This is not a yo-yo program. This is not a yo-yo burnout diet where you fall on and off again. No. This is a container for you to practice a new way of being with yourself, acknowledging your needs and desires, breaking through limiting beliefs and thoughts, and doing this all from a place of trust and safety and resilience within you, for you, to become a better you every single